Welcome to Deep Dive Daily.
Good morning, Andy. It is Tuesday, June 10th already. Summer flying. Weird vibes here, obviously. Weird lull in sports as we are waiting for Game 3 of the NBA Finals that has yet to really deliver much in the way of entertainment outside of the final minute of Game 1. Weird result in the Stanley Cup Finals where
Was it
just an inevitability, I guess. This team is just that good.
I love how people were doing that last night, just kind of calling, series is over. I think it's 2-1. I mean, they got another home game coming, but
it didn't feel very competitive.
It didn't feel like a good, honest effort from Edmonton at times. And it got ugly at the end where they just kind of turned it into a throwaway game. And honestly, both game 3s, or a game 3 and game 2, the Pacers pulling the starters was like 5 minutes left. I mean, it's one thing for that.
Pretty sus.
It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to do that when it's like, hey, this is the team that does that. What if we just have a crazy run at the end? Like, not this team. Never this team. Let's just pull the starters. And then, the game, sometimes when you get a score line like that in hockey, the game gets a little wonky. And, the Oilers got a little chippy and things got chippy. And they never really found their way into that one. The Oilers have so many good players. They have so many good skaters that, I mean, they can absolutely steal game 4. So,
okay.
I don't know. I'm cheering for Florida. Also, I'm cheering for Florida for a new reason today. A thing that's popped up on my Twitter timeline too much is this guy who has I don't remember what the fourth leg was, but he has a championship already in the bag. He has the liberty to win the WNBA last year, which shouldn't have happened. Thank you,
yes.
refs. And then he has Oilers and Thunder. So it's like $10 to pay $250,000. And he refuses to take the cash out. My number's 270 is the number, 270,000. And they asked him, was there a number you got in mind for a cash out? 270. The whole thing. So I mean, his offer dropped off the face of the earth after the Oilers dropped the games. I mean, obviously it was in a weird spot because the Pacers won game 1, but then the Oilers won game 1. So you kind of had some balance, but he needs Thunder. Oilers. Don't know. I'd like to see him go home with nothing because I'm just bothered by that much content about it.
I mean, it's really hard for me to imagine the Panthers having a closeout game against the Oilers and the Oilers finding a way to win to extend the series. I don't know, man. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it happening once. I can't imagine it happening twice. I can't imagine it happening 3 times in a row. Certainly. So that Oilers do have that. If they go up 3-1, they're at least in a better position than they were last year. So I guess it was 3-1 last year after 4.
I think it's funny if we get the same series.
They're in a better position right now than they were last year. I guess they have won a game. Instead of down 0-3. All right. I don't have any other thoughts. I took nothing else away from the hockey match. Grass tennis getting off to a slow start. I've yet to see any of the good players play. The biggest thing going for me is starting to really try to ramp up on NFL, but we could save that for another day because, Andy, it is a major...
You want to talk Rodgers?
Champion.
Rodgers to the Steelers?
Oh, sure.
And that happened days ago, and it just feels like it doesn't matter enough.
It didn't move the needle for me at all.
It's an upgrade based on what they were going to throw out there. Just not because I believe in Aaron Rodgers and think he's going to have some renaissance at this age. It's just what they were going to throw out there was so incredibly shitty that even a broken down Aaron Rodgers is an upgrade. It is an upgrade. I don't think it's still a competitive team in this division just because it's so tough. I mean, you still have the voodoo, you still have the good coaching, you still have plenty of good defensive players, but I don't know that they're actually going to be a team that matters when it comes down the stretch.
Yeah, I think this was a complicated, long arc downgrade because they were primed to potentially lose enough that they just threw their hands up and tanked for an actual quarterback in the draft next year. Now,
You mean like the last 5 years? You know,
Yeah.
just
no, this is the year that you want to be. There enough teams have fulfilled or at least taken chances recently that this was sort of the ideal year for the Steelers to really suck out loud.
yeah.
They could have been at the top of the pile for next year's.
That's funny. Yeah,
quarterback.
it's a downgrade by upgrade. Downgrade by
Yeah.
upgrade. Coined it
Yeah.
here on the show.
They moved themselves into the what's the terminology we use for that no man's land?
Just purgatory. Man.
Purgatory.
Thanks
They
to
moved
the Catholics
themselves.
for giving
Yeah,
us
they
that.
entrenched themselves in purgatory by going with Rodgers instead of Mason Rudolph. Good job. The markets didn't move at all because number one, I think this was widely expected, and number two, like again, congratulations, you upgraded from the 31st best quarterback situation to the 27th best. Like you're still in deep fucking trouble. Will you be surprised if Aaron Rodgers has flashes of brilliance this year?
No, I can definitely see him having a few good games. I'm gonna have to look at how much of an upgrade this is offensive lineally.
From last year?
Yeah.
I don't think it's much of an upgrade, and if anything,
No,
like,
I was going to say it's
problem with
probably
Rodgers wasn't protection last year. It was
no. It was decision making for sure.
Yeah, and he just held on to the ball for fucking forever.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he needs a receipt. He needs everybody needs a prime Travis Kelce. That'd be great for every quarterback, but he needs that receiver that he has the connection with, and they thought they were going to go get that when they went and got Adams, and it still just didn't make that big of a difference. So I don't know. I'm not sold on like the refurbished wide receiver room with Aaron Rodgers here either. He'll have a couple good games. You find a team that just doesn't have a pass rush and has a weak secondary.
Yeah,
you find a handful of teams are going to play that have a bad defense. Honestly, they're going to play the Bengals twice. He probably has 2 good games against the Bengals. Those games should be overs.
Yeah,
because I mean the Steelers defense bound to take a step back, and that Cincy defense has still got plenty wrong with it. Aaron Rodgers can pick on that. That feels like Steelers go put up 28 points, lose 42-28.
I am enjoying how the Bengals are currently sticking their finger in the eye of their veteran elite pass rusher and their newly drafted pass rusher. Their 2 top edges. They are literally saying, "Fuck off, we're not paying you." That's amazing. But very Bengals. I guess the general expectation for Rodgers, for me at least, is a lot of what we saw last year, maybe worse. I don't think he fits in Art Smith's system really at all. Kind of surprised he didn't just ride off into the sunset. I know he has that main character syndrome, which is painfully obvious. And so it's going to take something special for him to actually ride off into the sunset, I guess.
I know. I tweeted about it, but that was maybe my favorite moment of the entire offseason so far was Aaron Rodgers. Look at me. Mm-hmm. Everybody pay attention. Am I going to do it? I don't know. I'll go on McAfee. Oh, It's my decision day. Oh, I'm not going to say anything. Psych. I made you watch. But my favorite part was that he finally made his decision. He signed, and nobody gives a shit because it was the 10th biggest thing happening on Twitter that afternoon because it was the president and Elon Musk were having a public, just all out temper tantrum, hissy fit breakup. Like it kind of got lost in the sauce, which was that's all you can ask for is a Rodgers hater. Like honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he just retired at this point.
Yeah.
I that's all I wanted. I wanted the big look at me moment.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you're right. It's going to be a lot of the same from last year where we're going to see some glimpses, but it's not probably going to be whole games. You get 3/4 of a real good game here and there against some bad defenses, and you get a bunch of bad decision making. And it's probably another spot where, hey, you're in another spot where I don't really believe in your offensive coordinator.
I agree with Sam. The Steelers roster sneaky sucks, especially their skill position group. It is real lean. They could use an upgrade at wide receiver too. Let's get Alan Lazard in here.
I think a lot of it
roster.
comes down to is like, how does the Metcalf Rodgers connection work? If that's ugly, if that's not jiving right away.
Yeah, I don't. And to Brad's point,
offense is
I have no idea if it's Cincy's fault or not. I just belly laughed when I heard the story that they were using Stewart's lack of production in college as a negotiating tool against him after they drafted him. They're literally like, "Well, we can't pay you. He didn't produce in college. The fuck did you draft him for? If that's what your opinion is."
Yeah, well, you took me. You decided you wanted me on the team. They did have a
He
Robert
says
Woods
he's
hype
asking-
graphic,
Brad says
which
he's
is
asking for a non-standard contract. I guess I'm not following it closely enough. Anyway,
this is amazing. They did have a Robert Woods hype
Poppy
graphic.
trees.
Like, it's 2025. Like, no
can he beat
offense,
out Roman
Robert
Wilson,
Woods.
Andy? What about Austin? Can he beat out Austin? I don't know.
Honestly, you know who I think should be playing a bit? It's Ben Skowronek.
Skowronek.
He did some nice things in LA. I don't know. We'll see. I'm with you guys. It's a very mid roster because it has high points. Like, you do have some high points. Fryermuth, very good. DK Metcalf, very good.
What do you think is going to happen with TJ Watt?
Hayward Watt. I think he's playing. Like, he's just doing he's getting to be up in there. I don't have to go to the mini camp, guys.
Are the Steelers best served to have him retire a Steeler? Just pay him what he wants. Keep him.
Not
on
really.
board?
Not
I
at
don't
the
think
spot
so
where they're.
either.
It's the same kind of thing we're sitting at with Cleveland. Like, hey, good, we got Garrett. You know, Myles Garrett he's going to be back, and everybody's excited. You don't have to get rid of your Myles Garrett jerseys, guys. We're going to suck for 5 years though. Again. Like, this is a terrible way to build a roster. It's the same thing. If they go out and just they want to, keep extending him and get him on some huge mega deal to end up with him for the next 5 years or something, it's not the right way to build the roster. Like, you're missing at so many other spots. Like, you need a year where you fucking suck. You need that. Like, you've been saying this. I feel like we've both been saying this for 5 years. Like, I feel like you've been saying it since Ben left. Like, all right, let's have a shitty year, guys. Like, I get that you love this. We're always 500 and you never had a losing season thing, but let's have a shitty year. Let's bring in a really good draft pick and start over a new dynasty.
All right. Okay. I'm there. And honestly, they can backfill Watt. They have talent there. So I would listen to offers if I were them. I don't have a good read on that situation though, but I don't think that's just business as usual. They'll get a deal done at the 11th hour before training camp starts type of thing. There's something weird going on there.
What's his status? Like, he's under contract this year and that's it?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think that's just what's going to happen. He's going to play out this last year, and they're going to try to do trades like mid-season if they suck.
Well, he's skipping mandatory minicamp. That's the only thing I really know, and that's it's a little bit surprising. The other team of interest for me is the Lions, and we should just cover the news and notes about the retirement of Frank Reich now, what that means for the Lions. I don't think there's been a more obvious sell in in recent history than the Lions this year. It's like the recipe is all very obviously there. Changing both coordinators. They lost depth beyond the coordinators because the coordinators took people. So they're effectively starting from scratch with the entire coaching tree under Man Campbell. Your standout leader of the offensive line with a little bit of a surprise late retirement. Like, Jared Goff taking a step backwards this year is highly likely. He's coming off a career year. This to me, I think, is very straightforward on paper. This looks like the Oh, I didn't even mention like they're in the most difficult division in all of football.
They have a first place schedule, difficult
They have
division.
a first place
I don't-
schedule. There's no coming up for air.
Yeah, I don't know how it's like a hard sell. Like I could see you making a case for a good enough price.
You can find some 2-1 miss the playoffs.
Maybe that's consideration. The thing is, and the argument against this, I'll play slight devil's advocate, and then I will devil my own advocate with a second devil.
Okay.
And it's funny too. Sam points out the Eagles. I was going to make a comp to the Eagles. So what the Eagles did, and this was more planned, it felt like they probably had insider information on Kelsey. Like, I think he went and talked to them like, this might be my last year, guys. This is my last year. And even though maybe we got one more year out of Kelsey than we thought we were going to, they had like the plan in place. Cam Jurgens played next to him for like, 2 full years, I think, at guard. And it was always the plan to move him to center when Kelsey retired. So you got to sit next to him and play and listen to his calls and learn from him. And then he moved it over to center. And I don't think anybody can say he did a bad job or the Eagles' offensive line was bad last year. The Lions didn't really have that. And maybe it's a surprise. So, like, they're going to end up with Tate Ratledge at center?
Yeah.
That's what it might not be Tate Ratledge. There's a couple other guys that probably be competing for it, but I don't know a whole lot.
The other problem with the lines on the 2023 Eagles track is that Eagles team got to play the Commanders and the Giants twice.
Yeah.
There's no easy. Okay. Detroit's easiest matchup is probably versus Cleveland week 4. Their next easiest isn't until they play the Giants week 12. And then I guess Pittsburgh week 16. That's it. You got 3 games where you're going to be a touchdown favorite.
There's probably you probably have 5 easy games all year. Because there will be 2 teams that
there'll be a surprise.
There'll be two surprises. Somebody like the Bears might just honestly, be another offseason winner and they actually suck. The JJ McCarthy may not translate. The Vikings are a very good team if he does. If he doesn't, they're below average because you don't have a quarterback. So like there's chances that they have 5 easy games and then you call the rest coin flips where they're maybe 60-40 at best.
Yeah, I think that the Lions making the playoffs to me is basically saying that the young quarterbacks don't take any steps forward, or Love takes a step backwards, Caleb doesn't step forward, and JJ stinks, and therefore you just win your division by default because there's 3 bad quarterbacks there. That's not a minus. That's not a minus 150 type of proposition. I'm at minus 150 plus 150 for make miss, and so plus 200 to miss is a bet.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about the wild card possibilities because let's just assume the Eagles, or let's assume 2 from the NFC East. Like, are you a Washington takes a step back guy or not?
No,
not enough probably to miss. That's a good team.
I'm more in is Jaden Daniels top 5 guy.
Yeah, so I'm putting 2 teams from the East in, and then you got to have the Cowboys conversation. Like, is that a wild card team if healthy? It's close. It's damn close. And then
coaching questions.
And then I think the real bet you're making, if you're saying the Lions miss the playoffs, is you're betting on 2 teams from the West.
Yeah,
and
that's fine.
I don't have enough confidence in maybe anybody there. It just feels like there's
the Niners schedule is easy. The Rams are great. The Rams.
I don't know if the Rams are great.
The Eagles.
I think they're all pretty.
Cardinals
equal.
Could be in the mix there. No, I think
that's what I'm saying. I have the NFC West so close that I think they beat up on each other. Sam brings up a good point. I didn't know what they had for out of schedule. If they have the AFC South and the NFC
it's so
South,
bad. It's so soft.
Yeah. So honestly, they probably get 2. The East for sure gets 2, and the Central gets 2. So
the South
kind of comes down to you have to outduel the Cowboys the third team in the West, and Packers Vikings. If you don't win your division as the Lions, you can't finish behind all, both of those teams.
I don't think you can finish second and feel comfortable that you're getting a wild card.
No, it's not a foregone conclusion if you are second place in the North you're in. Because there's, like I said, the Cowboys and the third team in the West, which we'll probably just call the Seahawks. But Arizona obviously has a shot at being, I don't know that Arizona rebuilt enough yet to be a real plausible threat. Maybe.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it's worth saying that the other side
I'm
of the
probably
coin,
close to your price. I'm probably close to your price if I laid it down.
They still have an incredibly talented skill group. That's a positive, obviously. Yeah. Although there was some cleanup knee work on Amon-Ra St. Brown's knee, and he has not been participating. Still an excellent skill group. It is a defense that suffered from impossibly significant injuries all year last year, and will presumably be somewhat healthier, although Alan McNeil expected to miss the start of the season. He was a standout tackle for them. So
it sucked they had Reeder missing for chunks, and now McNeil's going to miss chunks.
Yeah.
What's Hutch's timeline? Like, that was...
So he's supposedly back.
It was early enough where he'll be back.
I don't know. I'll kind of believe he's as
effective. Still, if it's healthy, it's a good defense. I know St. Brown has the injury, but between him, the deep threat, and Williams, and honestly, I don't even care about third wide receiver. You have Sam Laporta. Like, if the offensive line surprises, they're probably just 10, 11 games minimum.
Yeah.
If there is issues and it does affect Goff a lot, I think you're right. I don't know. I'd need more than 2-1, I think.
The lines look
pretty a lot of it is just me not believing in the Cowboys or the Seahawks. I feel like I need one of those teams to do well.
I think the Falcons could push somebody down because their schedule is pretty cake. If they get it, they could steal a wild card spot for sure.
I guess the schedule thing is the difference.
The Cardinals could be
it's hard for me
I really
to believe
don't know what
in
to make of the Cardinals. I think the Seahawks would be the surprise to me if they're.
What is the Cowboys to make the playoffs price?
Let's see. Do you want mine or do you want to know what the? I haven't really.
No, I'm just curious. I haven't really looked at the
number
market
at all yet. I'm assuming that Defensive Player of the Year favorite Micah Parsons is going to be on. It's going to be available for Week 1. You never know with the way that they dink around with their contracts. What that story is going to get. That's going to get pretty annoying, probably.
For sure.
Let me see here. Make the playoffs.
Playoffs. All right, I have it.
Cowboys. Yes, is plus 172.
It's like the same fucking thing.
Yeah. All right. We'll obviously save more thoughts for as we get closer to the season, but that Ragnos walking away really kind of that crystallized a lot of the Lions are set up as a fade, I thought. Now they probably knew, right? Do you think they were surprised?
I don't know. It did feel a little more out of the blue than previous. Maybe he saw the writing on the wall. I mean, what was the biggest storyline from the 2024 season, Drew, in the NFL? Biggest storyline by far. On the deep dive. Every week we had to mention it in the recaps and in the injury reports. Who was getting hurt?
I'm blanking, man.
Centers. Do you remember? It was like a running gag. Like, hey, their center's hurt and their backup center's hurt. Yeah. And another center got hurt. It was weird timing. But maybe he's a deep dive listener and he's like, man, centers. It's
the year of the centers.
It's the year of the cat. Jaguars.
I guess I'm not a Goff believer, and
you never have been. I think that tilts your number a little.
Well, it tilts my number, but even more, it tilts my number just because he's coming off a year where he was like top 3 in EPA. Like, I will pay to see that happen again without Ben Johnson in
with
the
the new
building.
coach. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't think so, man.
No, it's like I'm with you, but I'm not enough where I'm very excited about betting a 2-1 on a
Okay.
good team because it feels like that they just get there by attrition with
Okay.
some of the other teams sucking. So,
How's
all
your,
right, I gotta.
How's your golf prep going?
I'm gonna do a golf show in 5 minutes over on the other
Oh.
YouTube channel, and we'll
Okay.
talk a little more tomorrow because I don't have a lot of bets. The only thing I am staying away from Cam Young. I looked at it, you guys. You guys got a big old number. That's fine. I can't bet him at like 90 or 100, even 120. I don't know if I can do it. I might, if I had bet 365 and I was doing each ways, maybe, but I might have to go look at something like that. I will bet Harris English in triple
Should I
digits.
try to get
and
Cam
that's
Young
about
in
it.
Calcutta? You get paid up to 12th place.
Yeah, I think it's a good high risk, high reward kind of guy.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm betting Harris English, baby.
Well, he was the star of the show at the PGA Championship on Sunday, man. He stole
He's
a third of the pot.
he just kind of got pushed down into the ranks because he was so injured. He was injured for a while, and he's a guy that's won multiple events here over the last handful of time. I'm going to use that when I don't have a strict time frame in mind. I like
Oh,
that.
that's exciting.
So, all right, Harris English. I'll have more tomorrow. We'll figure it out. I got a lot of
Okay.
research to do on that today.
I dig it, man. What and just prep for you. What are you cooking?
You have cheesesteaks at Oakmont.
Really?
I'm thinking something else.
Okay.
I might make their signature cocktail. It's a Doers.
Ooh.
I don't know